On this week's episode of The Automated Entrepreneur, finding your voice. In our last podcast, I mentioned that as an entrepreneur, you'll experience 5 phases of development, each one forging your voice, building your tribe, and readying you to change the world around you. A friend of mine who launched more than 18 corporations shared with me his recipe for developing passionate experience. He claimed there were 5 steps. First, you have to identify the things that spark a keen interest in you. Second, you have to drill down deep and engage in the nuances of those things. Third, if that engagement expands from fascination to fixation, then seek mastery. Fourth, experiment without hesitation or fear. And fifth, you must commit to the result you seek. Every great movement has a charismatic leader. That spark you feel is the genius of your leadership. It's easy to assume that some people are born leaders while others are not. But that is just a myth. Leadership is a learned skill. Now, you may not see yourself as an expert at all. In fact, you may doubt that others would be interested in knowing what you know, what you've experienced. But the truth is, those who share a common struggle will seek out those who possess the wisdom. It's important for you to understand that the challenges you went through and conquered were not designed just for your growth, but for others as well. You survived and thrived, and now it's your responsibility to share the lessons learned. If in your shyness you clam up, you choose to remain an introvert, you rob yourself of new opportunities and experiences, and others of the peace that you could deliver. And that is the real tragedy. You don't have to broadcast yourself as an expert. Just give yourself permission to quietly share your knowledge, reveal the challenges you overcame, and mentor to those who are suffering the same plight. You have been blessed with talents, ideas, and unique abilities that have gotten you to where you are today, and they will take you to where you're supposed to be. Are you taking that journey alone? Here are 4 tips to help you begin the process of finding your voice. First, be authentic. Unapologetically own who you are. There is nothing less satisfying than pretending to be something you're not. Your quirks, your personality, your point of view, your experiences. Those are the things that make you who you are. Don't be afraid to show people the real deal, and especially the vulnerable side of you. In the world of social media, where everything seems perfect and polished, being yourself is a breath of fresh air. Secondly, be clear about your message, your values, and what you stand for. Take time to think critically about what exactly you stand for. What are your core values? What is your vision for your life, for your business? What kind of impact do you want to create? Take time to discover your values for yourself. Once you've given yourself the space to do this, you can begin to consider how to communicate this information to other people. Third, don't be afraid to draw a line in the sand. As scary as it might seem, drawing a line in the sand about the things you do or don't stand for is incredibly freeing. And fourth, take action. Once I stopped being so concerned with what everyone else would think or say, I found the liberation to not only find my voice, but to actually start using it. Finding your voice ultimately comes down to just doing it. The analogy of ripping off a Band-Aid is quite fitting here. The first time I shared something that really scared me, I simply pushed publish, and then I hid from the internet for several hours. The thing to remember is, doing it afraid is okay. Doing it in spite of your fear is even better. If these qualities sound familiar to you, perhaps it's time for you to become an automated entrepreneur. You need only 3 things: the determination to achieve, the master blueprint, and the coach who'll quarterback your process. So if you're ready to make 2021 your breakout year, if you've had enough of the same old, if you're ready to take control of your financial future, there are 7 ways we can help you. First, you could subscribe to this podcast, Automated Entrepreneur, on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Breaker, and more. Secondly, you could follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Automated Entrepreneur. Third, you could follow us on YouTube at Automated Entrepreneur. Fourth, you could take 20 minutes and complete our short questionnaire. This easy tool allows us to determine your readiness to create and launch real prosperity this year. Fifth, you could book a free coaching call, get your questions answered, and experience real growth right now. Sixth, you could register for our incredible webinar, The Entrepreneur's Journey. And seventh, you could register for our Prosperity Code program. And that's this week's episode of The Automated Entrepreneur.